Hello and welcome. You're watching 84 TV Radio News Update coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Adirayo Senami. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has given an executive order to the Presidential Committee on Salaries and Wages to review the earnings of all civil service workers across different parastatals and agencies for the purpose of harmonization. According to the Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ige, one of the objectives of the order is to check disparity in payment of salaries and wages, as well as to cut back costs of governance. In a developing situation, a junior minister in Scotland, Douglas Ross, has resigned from cabinet this Tuesday over the British Prime Minister's advisor, Dominic Cummings, who broke lockdown rules by travelling in his car with his wife and child for over 264 miles to drop off his son with his parents. Despite several calls from across the UK for him to resign or be fired from his job, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson has, however, decided to retain him. We'll bring you more on this story as it unfolds. Still on COVID-19, Germany's Foreign Minister Heiko Maas says the government intends to lift travel bans on tourists from at least 31 European countries. The ban was placed following the outbreak of the coronavirus. Meanwhile, a 95-year-old Ghanaian World War II veteran private, Joseph Hammond, who was drafted into the Royal West African Frontier Force at the age of 16, has raised $19,600 in a fundraiser towards assisting COVID-19 frontline workers and vulnerable veterans. Joseph walked 2 miles every day for 1 week. And in Asia, the Japan Pediatric Association has advised parents not to wear masks for infants under the age of 2, despite guidelines by the country enforcing its use by every individual. The experts warn that children of that age could experience an increased burden on their lungs if they wear face masks. Similarly, in Nigeria, the governor of Kaduna State, Nigeria, Nasir El-Rufai, this Monday, has threatened a 2-year jail term for parents who enroll their children into the Almajiri education system. Recall that northern governors in Nigeria had agreed to ban the Islamic education system where pupils are enrolled under a Muslim cleric to learn the Quran, and directed that parents should send their children to conventional schools. The governor also said any Islamic cleric who recruits any child into the Almajiri system will also be jailed and fined 100,000 naira, equivalent of $256 per child. In spite of the World Health Organization's suspension of hydroxychloroquine clinical trials, the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control in Nigeria, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, this Tuesday said the administration will continue its hydroxychloroquine clinical trials for the treatment of COVID-19. She stated that there is verifiable data to prove that hydroxychloroquine may work for many COVID-19 patients. We'll take a short break now. When we return, International Basketball Federation releases guidelines for reopening. Stay with us, details coming shortly.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu Adamu, has directed that consequent to the approval of President Muhammadu Buhari for the funding of 6 medical simulation, research and training facilities in colleges of medicine, 1 per geopolitical zone in the country, through TED Fund, the facilities should include provision of molecular science laboratories with capacity for testing and diagnostics of COVID-19, Lassa fever, and related viral diseases. The Honorable Minister emphasized that besides ongoing research work in response to COVID-19 and similar diseases through the TED Fund National Research Fund, the research community of the Federal Ministry of Education should undertake any other sundry contributions in support of the commendable efforts of the Presidential Task Force (PTF) in responding to the threat of COVID-19 in Nigeria. He commended the initiatives of TED Fund in providing a special research grant window towards treatment or vaccine against COVID-19. Additionally, he assured the fund that the federal government will continue to support relevant research aimed at addressing national challenges and needs. Signed, Mrs. Ngoba Priye-Briggs, Director, Public Affairs for the Executive Secretary.
Welcome back. You're watching 84 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. A professor of microbiology in Kaduna State, Nigeria, Ayodele Israel Adeleye, claims to have a cure for COVID-19. He claims that the federal government's procedures for the submission and verification of herbal drugs for diagnosed patients are unnecessary. While presenting his herbal drug to the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control in Kaduna State, Adeleye urged the government to allow him access to isolation centers unprotected to treat 5 COVID patients. Meanwhile, the Sir Emeka Ofor Foundation in Nigeria has donated hospital beds worth 48.5 million naira, equivalent of $124,355, to the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Zaria. The chief executive of the foundation, Ezeke Chris, says the foundation will also take care of transporting and installing the beds in the teaching hospital. And in sports, World's football governing body, FIFA, this Monday suspended the president of Haiti's Football Federation, Yves Jean-Bart, for 90 days as investigations continue into his alleged abuse of teenage girls at the National Training Institute. The 73-year-old president has denied the allegations. Still in sports, the International Basketball Federation this Tuesday published guidelines in English, French, and Spanish languages, which will serve as a checklist to ensure that decisions on basketball events are based on an assessment of risks and the best chance for a successful restart. The Federation, in collaboration with the World Health Organization, has also produced a basketball-specific risk assessment tool. And that's it on 84 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You can join the conversation on our website at www.84tvradio.com. Please follow us on our social media platforms at 84 TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as 84 TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Adirayo Senami.